Hey guys, and welcome to tonight's gentle journey. Picture yourself curled up in a soft blanket, the world outside fading into a distant hum. Your heart beats a little faster than you'd like, thoughts swirling like leaves caught in a restless wind. Maybe it's the weight of a long day, or a small worry that somehow feels like it's taken over the whole room. That's what we're diving into tonight. Why those small anxieties can feel so overwhelming, like a storm brewing inside. It's a soft reminder that it's okay to feel these waves of emotion, and tonight we'll explore them with kindness. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'd love to know where you're joining me from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're lying there, and you notice that familiar tightness in your chest, like the air's grown a little heavier. It's not always a big event that sets it off. Maybe it's a text you haven't answered, a deadline looming, or even a fleeting thought about something you said hours ago. These moments, so small on their own, can pile up until they feel like a mountain pressing down. And that's what we're here to understand. Why does your mind sometimes take a tiny spark and turn it into a wildfire? It's not just you, it's something so many of us feel. Your brain is wired to protect you, to scan for threats, even when those threats are passing thoughts or minor hiccups in your day. It's like an overeager guard dog, barking at every rustle in the leaves. Let's pause for a moment. Take a slow breath and notice how your body feels right now. Maybe your shoulders are tense, or your stomach's a little knotted. No need to fix it, just notice. This is our first step, simply seeing the storm without trying to push it away. Your emotions, even the overwhelming ones, aren't your enemy. They're signals, sometimes louder than they need to be, but signals all the same. Think of them as a friend who's a bit too enthusiastic, tugging at your sleeve to get your attention. What's this feeling trying to tell you? Maybe it's asking for a moment of rest or a chance to slow down and listen to yourself. Here's a gentle insight. Your brain often amplifies small anxieties because it's trying to keep you safe. This is called a negativity bias, a tendency to focus more on potential dangers than on what's going well. It's why a single awkward moment at work can replay in your mind all evening, while a kind compliment slips away unnoticed. Evolution wired you this way, but in today's world, where threats are less about survival and more about social pressures or to-do lists, that wiring can feel like it's working overtime. It's perfectly natural to feel this way, and recognizing it is like shining a soft light into a shadowy corner. It doesn't erase the feeling, but it makes it less daunting. Try this simple thought exercise as you settle in. Picture your anxiety as a wave in the ocean. It rises, it feels huge, but it always crests and falls. You don't need to fight it or swim against it. Just let it roll through. Imagine yourself floating on that wave, not resisting, just moving with it. What does it feel like to let the wave carry you for a moment? You might notice your breath slowing, your body softening just a little. This isn't about making the feeling disappear. It's about giving yourself permission to coexist with it, to ride out with gentleness. As you rest there, you might feel a flicker of relief, a small reminder that you're not alone in this. So many of us have moments where the world feels too loud, too fast, and that's okay. It's part of being human. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're just navigating a mind that's doing its best to keep up. Tonight we're going to keep exploring this storm. Not to chase it away, but to find the calm within it. You're already taking the first step. Just by being here, just by listening. You're still here, floating in that gentle space we started carving out, where the swirl of your emotions feels a little less like a storm and more like a current you can navigate. That tightness in your chest, that flutter of thoughts, they're still there, but now you're starting to wonder, where did these big feelings come from? Why does a small moment, a forgotten email, a passing comment, or even a quiet worry about tomorrow grow into something that feels so heavy? Let's ease into that question, tracing the hidden roots of this overwhelm, like following a thread back to its source. You notice how your mind sometimes grabs onto a tiny detail, something as simple as a task you didn't finish or a look someone gave you. It's like your brain picks up that one pebble and decides it's a boulder. This happens because your mind is a master at connecting dots, sometimes too well. A single worry can spark a chain of what-ifs. What if I messed up? What if they're upset? What if I can't handle tomorrow? Before you know it, that one thought has woven itself into a whole story, and your body responds as if the story is real. Your heart races, your palms feel clammy, and suddenly you're carrying a weight that wasn't there an hour ago. Here's a core insight. This spiral often starts with something called cognitive distortion, a fancy term for the way your mind can twist a small event into something bigger than it is. One common distortion is catastrophizing, where your brain leaps from a minor hiccup to the worst possible outcome. Maybe you didn't reply to a message, and now your mind whispers that you've ruined a friendship. It's not that your brain is trying to make you miserable, it's just trying to prepare you for every possibility. But in doing so, it can turn a ripple into a tidal wave. Recognizing this pattern is like spotting a familiar path in the woods. Once you see it, you can choose to walk it differently. Take a moment to reflect. Think of a small anxiety that's been lingering lately, maybe something specific, like a work task, or something vague, like a sense of unease. Can you pinpoint the first thought that set it off? Try this. Imagine that thought as a single raindrop, not the whole storm. What happens when you let it just be a drop without letting it grow into a downpour? You don't need to solve it right now. Just notice it with curiosity, like you're watching a cloud drift by. This is a gentle way to start untangling the roots of overwhelm by seeing the spark before it becomes a flame. It's perfectly natural to feel these waves, especially when life moves so fast. So many of us have moments where a small worry feels like it's taken over the whole stage. You're not alone in this, and there's nothing wrong with you for feeling it. The beauty is, you don't have to fight these feelings. You can learn to soften their edges. Imagine your mind as a garden. Those anxious thoughts, they're just weeds that pop up now and then. You don't need to yank them out in a panic. Sometimes just noticing them and letting them be is enough to keep the garden calm. As you lie there, you might feel your breath slowing, your body settling a little more into the moment. That racing pulse from earlier, it's still there maybe, but it's starting to feel less like a drumbeat and more like a gentle rhythm. You're not trying to erase the anxiety. You're just giving it space to exist without taking over. Think of a time when you felt overwhelmed but made it through maybe a deadline you met, a conversation that went better than you feared. That strength is still in you, quietly waiting. It's like a small, steady light that never goes out, even when the storm feels loud. Let's carry this forward, remembering that feeling of overwhelm we touched on earlier. It's not the whole of you. It's just a visitor passing through. You're learning to see its roots, to understand why it feels so big. And with each moment you spend here, you're building a quiet confidence, a sense that you can weather this. You don't need to have all the answers tonight. Just let yourself rest in this space, knowing you're already finding your way. You're resting in this soft space now where the storm of your emotions feels a little less daunting, a little more like a rhythm you can follow. That swirl of thoughts, the ones that race like they're chasing something just out of reach, let's sit with them for a moment. You notice how your mind spins, looping through the same worries, picking up speed until it feels like you're caught in a whirlwind. Why does it do that? Why does it feel like your thoughts are running a race you didn't sign up for? Let's ease into this. Explore the tempo of your mind with kindness, as if we're slowing down to listen to a song you've heard 1,000 times but never really understood. Picture yourself sitting in a quiet room, the kind where the only sound is the soft tick of a clock or the hum of a distant fan. Your thoughts, though, they're not quiet. They're darting, jumping from one thing to the next, a task you forgot, a conversation that felt off, a vague worry about tomorrow. It's like your brain is flipping through channels, each one louder than the last. This is what overwhelm does. It turns up the volume on your thoughts, making them feel urgent, like they all need your attention right now. But here's the thing. You don't have to keep up with the race. You can step back just a little and watch it unfold. Here's a gentle insight. This racing tempo often comes from something called the default mode network in your brain. It's the part that kicks in when you're not focused on a specific task, like when you're lying in bed or waiting for a bus. It's your mind's autopilot, and it loves to wander, sometimes straight into worry. When you're stressed, this network goes into overdrive, replaying past moments or imagining future ones, each thought feeding the next until it feels like a storm. It's not your fault. It's just your brain doing what it's wired to do. But you can learn to nudge it toward a slower, softer rhythm. Try this reflective prompt as you lie there. Imagine your thoughts as cars speeding by on a highway. You're not in the driver's seat. You're just watching what's on the side of the road. Pick one thought, just one, and let it pass without chasing it. What does it feel like to let it go by without jumping in? You might notice your breath deepen, your body relax just a fraction. This isn't about stopping the traffic. It's about choosing not to run after every car. You're giving yourself permission to pause, to let the race continue without you for a moment. It's so human to feel this rush of thoughts, and you're not alone in it. Many of us find our minds racing when we least expect it, like a radio stuck on high volume. There's no shame in it. It's just your brain trying to process a world that's often too loud, too fast. You're doing something powerful just by noticing it, by sitting here with me and letting yourself be curious. That curiosity is like a soft hand on your shoulder, reminding you that you don't have to solve everything tonight. As you settle deeper, you might feel a warmth spreading through you, a sense that you're more than the thoughts racing by. Think back to that overwhelm we talked about earlier, how it grows from a spark to a flame. Those racing thoughts, they're part of the same pattern, trying to protect you by keeping you alert. But you don't need to stay on high alert right now. Imagine turning down the volume just a notch, letting the thoughts hum in the background like a fan you barely notice. You've made it through moments like this before, days when your mind felt too full, but you still found a way to rest, to laugh, to keep going. That resilience is in you, quiet but steady. You're starting to see the rhythm of your mind, how it speeds up when it senses a threat, even if that threat is just a fleeting worry. There's a kind of beauty in that, isn't there? Your brain working so hard to keep you safe, even when it doesn't need to. You don't have to fight it or force it to slow down. Just breathe and let yourself watch the tempo ease, like a song fading into a softer melody. Well, carry this feeling forward, knowing you're already finding your way through the storm, one gentle step at a time. You're nestled in this quiet moment now, where the rush of your thoughts feels a little less like a race and more like a river you can sit beside. That sense of overwhelm, the one we've been gently exploring, doesn't always need to pull you under. Sometimes it's enough to just breathe and let the current flow. You notice your body settling, maybe your shoulders softening, your breath finding a steady rhythm. Let's lean into that rhythm, into the idea of finding calm right in the middle of the storm. You don't need to push the waves away. You can learn to anchor yourself with something as simple as your breath. Imagine you're sitting by a lake, the water lapping gently at the shore. Your emotions, those big feelings that sometimes take over, are like waves on that lake. Sometimes they're choppy, sometimes they're still. Right now, your breath is the anchor, the thing that keeps you steady no matter how the water moves. You inhale and it's like dipping your toes into that calm. You exhale and it's like letting the ripples carry away a little of the tension. You don't have to force anything, just notice how your breath feels, moving through you like a quiet friend who's always there. Here's a core insight. Your breath is a bridge between your body and your mind, a tool that can slow the storm when it feels too big. This is rooted in how your nervous system works. When you're anxious, your body shifts into fight or flight, making your heart race and your thoughts scatter. But slow, intentional breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that whispers, "It's okay, you're safe." It's not about erasing the emotion. It's about giving yourself a way to ride it out, like holding onto a raft in choppy water. Each breath is a small choice to come back to yourself. Try this gentle exercise. Take a slow breath in through your nose, counting to 4 in your mind. Hold it softly for a moment, then let it out through your mouth, counting to 6. Do it once more, noticing how your chest rises and falls, how the air feels cool on the way in, warm on the way out. What do you notice in your body as you do this? Maybe a loosening in your jaw, a warmth in your hands. There's no right or wrong here, just a chance to feel your breath as a steady anchor, something you can always return to. It's so normal to feel swept away by big emotions, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find that our minds and bodies get caught in the storm, especially when life feels like it's moving too fast. There's a quiet strength in pausing to breathe and giving yourself permission to just be for a moment. You're not failing when you feel overwhelmed. You're just human, navigating a world that's full of noise and demands. And right now, you're doing something kind for yourself, just by being here, just by breathing. You might feel a flicker of calm as you settle into this rhythm, like the lake in your mind growing stiller with each breath. Remember that feeling of racing thoughts we touched on earlier? They're still there maybe, but they're starting to feel less urgent, like background music you don't need to dance to. You've got this anchor now, your breath always with you, ready to steady you. Think of a time when you felt grounded, maybe during a walk, a quiet moment with a pet, or even just sipping a warm drink. That calm is in you, waiting to be found again, even in the smallest moments. As you rest here, let your breath carry you a little deeper into this space. You're not trying to fix the storm or make it disappear. You're just giving yourself a place to rest within it, a place where you can feel safe and steady. Each inhale is a reminder that you're here, present, capable. Each exhale is a chance to let go of a tiny piece of the tension. You're already finding your way breath by breath, and we'll keep exploring this calm together, knowing you've got this quiet strength inside you. You're here resting in this gentle space, your breath a soft anchor holding you steady as the waves of emotion ripple around you. You've felt how those waves can grow, how a small worry, a forgotten task, a fleeting glance, or a quiet doubt can somehow feel like it's carrying the weight of the world. Let's linger here, exploring why these tiny moments can stack up until they feel so heavy, like stones piling up in your chest. You don't need to push them away. You're just noticing them, letting them be seen with kindness, as if you're holding each one in your hands and turning it over to understand it better. Picture yourself walking through a busy day, your mind collecting little moments like pebbles in a pocket. A text you meant to send, a deadline that's creeping closer, a worry about whether you said the right thing in a conversation. Each one feels small on its own, like a single drop of rain. But by the end of the day, those drops have pooled into something heavier, something that makes your shoulders tense and your thoughts feel crowded. You notice how your body responds. Maybe your jaw tightens or your stomach twists. It's as if your mind and body are holding onto each pebble, afraid to let it go. Here's a core insight. This piling up happens because of something called cumulative stress. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between big and small stressors. It reacts to each one as if it's a signal to stay alert. Over time, these small anxieties layer on top of each other, like sediment building up in a riverbed, until the flow of your thoughts feels blocked. It's not just the one missed email or the one awkward moment, it's the way they add up, each one whispering, "You need to fix this." But here's the general truth. You don't have to carry all those pebbles at once. You can set some down, even just for a moment. Try this reflective prompt. Think of one small worry that's been lingering today. Something specific, like a task you're dreading or a comment that stung. Imagine holding that worry as a smooth, small stone in your hand. What's it feel like? Heavy or light? Now picture setting it down on the ground just for now, without needing to solve it. You're not ignoring it. You're just giving yourself permission to rest before picking it up again. Notice how your body feels as you do this. Maybe your breath deepens or your hands relax. This is a small act of kindness to yourself, a way to lighten the load. It's so human to feel these moments pile up, and you're not alone in it. Many of us find that our days collect these tiny weights, and it's okay to feel their heaviness sometimes. There's no shame in noticing how they add up. It's a sign you're paying attention to your inner world. You're doing something brave just by being here, by looking at these pebbles with curiosity instead of fear. Each one is just a moment, not the whole story of who you are. As you settle into this thought, you might feel a softness spreading through you, like the warmth of a blanket on a chilly night. Remember that overwhelm we've been exploring, how it grows from a spark to a storm? These small anxieties are part of that, each one a tiny thread in the bigger tapestry. But you've already shown you can pause, breathe, and notice them without letting them take over. Think of a time when you let go of a worry, even for a little while. Maybe you laughed with a friend or lost yourself in a song. That lightness is still in you, waiting to be found again. You're learning to carry these moments differently, to see them as pebbles you can set down when they get too heavy. You don't need to solve every worry tonight or even tomorrow. Just rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength in your ability to notice and let be. You're already finding your way through this one small step at a time, and we'll keep moving forward together knowing you've got this. You're resting here, in this quiet space where the weight of those small anxieties feels a little lighter, like pebbles you've set down by the river's edge. You've noticed how they pile up, how your mind and body hold on to them, but now let's shift gently to something deeper. Those big feelings, the ones that make your heart race or your thoughts blur, what if they're not just storms to weather, but messengers trying to tell you something? You don't need to push them away or solve them. You can listen softly, as if they're whispering a secret meant just for you. Imagine sitting in a cozy corner, maybe with a warm drink in your hands, the world outside muffled. Your emotions are like visitors knocking at the door, some loud, some soft, but all carrying a message. That tightness in your chest, that flutter of worry about a deadline or a conversation, it's not just noise. It's your body's way of speaking, saying, hey, something matters here. Maybe it's asking for rest or for you to slow down, or even just to acknowledge that you're carrying more than you realize. You notice how these feelings ripple through you like waves lapping at the shore, each one with something to say. Here's the core insight. Emotions, even the overwhelming ones, are signals from your body and mind trying to guide you. Psychologists often talk about emotions as data, information about what you need or what's important to you. Anxiety might be saying, this feels uncertain and I want to feel safe. Overwhelm might be whispering, you're stretched thin, can we pause? They're not here to hurt you, they're here to help you navigate. When you listen to them with curiosity instead of fear, you start to hear their message more clearly, like tuning into a soft melody beneath the noise. Try this gentle prompt. Think of one emotion you felt strongly today, maybe anxiety, frustration, or even a vague unease. Picture it as a color or a shape in your mind. What does it look like? Maybe it's a stormy gray cloud or a tight red knot. Now ask it silently, what are you trying to tell me? You don't need an answer right away. Just let the question sit, like leaving a note for a friend. Notice how it feels to give that emotion a moment of attention without trying to fix it. Maybe your shoulders soften or your breath feels a little deeper. It's so normal to feel like your emotions are running the show sometimes, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find that our feelings can seem loud or confusing, especially when life feels full. There's no need to judge yourself for this. It's part of being human, part of having a heart that cares. You're doing something kind just by pausing to listen, by being here with me, giving yourself this moment to explore. As you settle deeper, you might feel a quiet warmth, like the glow of a candle in a dark room. Remember that sense of overwhelm we've been tracing, how it grows from small moments. Those emotions are part of the same story, each one a messenger trying to guide you. You've already shown you can sit with them, breathe through them without letting them take over. Think of a time when you listened to yourself. Maybe you took a walk when you felt stressed, or wrote down a worry to let it go. That wisdom is in you, always there, like a soft voice you can trust. You're starting to see your emotions as allies, not enemies. They're not here to drown you, but to point you toward what matters. Maybe a need for rest, a boundary to set, or a moment to just be. You don't need to have all the answers tonight. Just let yourself rest in this space, feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength in your ability to listen. You're already finding your way, one whisper at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together, knowing you're never alone in the storm. You're here, nestled in this soft space where your emotions, those messengers we've been listening to, feel a little less like a storm and more like a conversation you're starting to understand. You've noticed how they speak to you, carrying quiet truths about what you need. But sometimes there's another voice in the mix, one that's a bit harsher, a bit louder, telling you that you're not doing enough, that you should have handled things better. It's the inner critic, the one that amplifies your stress, making those small anxieties feel like towering waves. Let's ease into softening that voice, treating it with the same kindness you're learning to offer yourself. Picture yourself sitting in a warm, dimly lit room, maybe with a soft blanket draped over your shoulders. Your thoughts are swirling, and that critical voice pipes up, whispering things like, why didn't you finish that task? Or, you should be better at this by now. It's like a radio tuned to a station you didn't choose, playing a loop of doubts. You notice how it makes your chest tighten, your breath catch, as if the words are adding weight to those pebbles we talked about earlier. But you don't have to turn up the volume. You can gently shift the dial, letting that voice fade into the background. Here's a core insight. Your inner critic is often a misguided protector, trying to keep you safe by pointing out where you might fail. It's rooted in a part of your brain that scans for mistakes, a holdover from when avoiding errors meant survival. But in today's world, that voice can overstep, turning small missteps into catastrophes. The key isn't to silence it, that's like trying to hush a storm, but to soften its tone, to respond to it with compassion. When you meet it with kindness, it loses some of its power, like a bully who shrinks when you refuse to argue back. Try this reflective prompt. The next time you hear that critical voice, pause and imagine it as a small, nervous figure standing in front of you. What does it look like? Maybe it's a worried child or a stern teacher. Now speak to it gently in your mind, saying something like, thank you for trying to help, but I'm okay. Notice how it feels to acknowledge it without letting it take over. You might feel a slight release, like loosening a tight knot in your chest. This isn't about fighting the critic. It's about inviting it to sit quietly instead of shouting. It's so human to hear this inner voice, and you're not alone in it. Many of us find that our minds churn out these critical thoughts, especially when we're stressed or tired. There's no shame in it. It's just your brain trying to keep you on track, even if it's a bit overzealous. You're doing something powerful just by noticing it, by being here with me, giving yourself this moment to soften its edges. As you settle into this thought, you might feel a warmth spreading, like sunlight filtering through a window. Remember that overwhelm we've been exploring, how it builds from small moments and racing thoughts. That inner critic is part of the same pattern, adding its voice to the storm. But you've already shown you can breathe through it, listen to your emotions as messengers, and now you're learning to meet this critic with kindness. Think of a time when you let go of self-judgment. Maybe you laughed at a mistake or forgave yourself for a small slip. That gentleness is in you, always there, like a soft hum beneath the noise. You're starting to see that you don't need to fight this voice or let it define you. It's just one part of the chorus, not the whole song. You can choose to listen to the kinder notes, the ones that remind you you're doing your best, that you're enough as you are. Rest here, feeling the rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength in your ability to soften the noise. You're already finding your way one gentle step at a time, and we'll keep moving forward together knowing you've got this. You're resting in this gentle space where the harsh voice of that inner critic is starting to soften like a radio turned down low. You've been listening to your emotions, hearing their messages, and now you're ready to find something steady within you, a place to anchor when the storm feels too big. That overwhelm, those racing thoughts, the weight of small anxieties, they don't have to pull you under. You can find a quiet center, a safe harbor inside yourself, where you feel grounded even when the waves are high. Let's ease into this, exploring how to find that inner anchor with kindness and care. Imagine you're standing on a soft, sandy beach, the ocean stretching out before you. The waves are rolling in, sometimes gentle, sometimes crashing, but your feet are steady on the shore. You feel the sand beneath your toes, cool and firm, holding you up. This is your inner anchor, a place within you that's always there, no matter how loud the world gets or how heavy your thoughts feel. It's not about making the waves stop. It's about knowing you have a place to stand, a place where you can breathe and just be. Here's a core insight. Your inner anchor is built from moments of self-awareness and self-compassion, a psychological concept often tied to mindfulness. When you pause to notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you create a kind of inner sanctuary. This doesn't mean you never feel overwhelmed. It means you have a place to return to, like a lighthouse guiding you home. Your anchor might be a memory of a calm moment, a physical sensation like your breath, or even a simple phrase you repeat to yourself, like, I'm here, I'm enough. It's a reminder that you're more than the storm. You're the one who can weather it. Try this gentle exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a place where you feel safe and calm. It could be a real place, a cozy chair by a window, a favorite park, or a place in your imagination, like a quiet forest or a warm, glowing room. What do you see, hear, feel there? Let yourself linger in that space, noticing how your body responds. Maybe your shoulders drop, or your breath slows. This place is your anchor, a refuge you can visit anytime the storm feels too big. You don't need to stay there forever, just know it's there waiting for you. It's so normal to feel swept away by big emotions sometimes, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find that life's demands can make us lose sight of our steady ground, but it's always there, waiting to be rediscovered. There's no shame in needing a moment to find it. It's a sign of strength to pause and seek your center. You're doing something beautiful just by being here, by giving yourself this time to explore and rest. As you settle deeper, you might feel a quiet warmth, like the glow of a lantern in your hands. Remember that inner critic we softened earlier, or the emotions we listened to as messengers? They're all part of the same journey leading you to this anchor. You've already shown you can breathe through the storm, set down the pebbles of worry, and now you're finding a place to stand firm. Think of a time when you felt grounded, maybe during a quiet moment alone, when you laughed with someone you love. That steadiness is in you, like a root that runs deep, holding you through any storm. You're learning to trust this inner anchor, to know it's there even when the waves feel high. You don't need to force the storm to stop or pretend you're never shaken. Just rest here, feeling the sand beneath your feet, the gentle rhythm of your breath. You're already finding your way one steady moment at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together knowing you've got a quiet strength within you that's always there. You're here, resting in that quiet harbor within you, where the sand feels steady beneath your feet and your breath anchors you to the moment. You found a place to stand even as the waves of overwhelm roll in. But sometimes those waves still feel relentless, don't they? They crash one after another, and you wonder how to keep your balance when they keep coming. Let's ease into the power of a gentle pause, a small act of kindness to yourself that can soften the intensity of those emotional storms. You don't need to stop the waves. You can learn to step back and breathe, giving yourself space to find calm. Imagine you're walking through a bustling day, your mind juggling tasks, conversations, and those little pebbles of worry we talked about. It's like you're carrying a tray full of fragile glasses, trying not to let them spill. Your heart might be racing, your thoughts darting, and it feels like there's no room to set the tray down. But what if you could pause just for a moment, not to fix everything, but to let your hands rest, to let your mind catch its breath? You notice how your body softens when you give yourself that tiny break, like a sigh of relief you didn't know you needed. Here's a core insight. Pausing is a powerful tool rooted in mindfulness, a way to interrupt the cycle of overwhelm before it spirals. A way to interrupt the cycle of overwhelm before it spirals. When you will take a brief moment to stop, whether it's a deep breath, a sip of water, or just closing your eyes for 10 seconds, you signal to your nervous system that it's okay to slow down. This isn't about avoiding your responsibilities or ignoring your feelings. It's about creating a small pocket of space where you can reset. Psychologists call this a micro break, and it can shift your body from stress mode to a calmer state, like turning down the heat on a simmering pot. Try this gentle prompt. Right now, take a slow, deep breath and let your eyes rest on something nearby, a lamp, a window, a patch of wall. For just 5 seconds, let your attention settle there, noticing its color or texture. What does it feel like to give yourself this tiny pause? Maybe your shoulders loosen or your thoughts feel a little less crowded. You can carry this with you, a quick pause during a busy day, a moment to step out of the storm and into yourself. It's like pressing a soft reset button, no matter where you are. It's so human to feel like you have to keep going, to push through the overwhelm without stopping, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find ourselves caught in that rush, thinking we can't afford to pause. But there's no weakness in giving yourself a moment. It's a quiet act of strength. You're doing something kind just by being here, by exploring this idea of rest with me, by letting yourself feel the possibility of a pause. As you settle into this moment, you might feel a gentle warmth, like the glow of a candle flickering nearby. Remember that inner anchor we found, that steady place within you? This pause is part of it, a way to return to that harbor when the waves feel high. You've already shown you can listen to your emotions, soften your inner critic, and now you're learning to give yourself these small breaks. Think of a time when you stepped away from stress. Maybe you took a walk, or just closed your eyes for a moment. That ability to pause is in you, like a soft melody you can always hum to yourself. You're starting to see that you don't need to fight the storm or carry every worry at once. A pause, even a brief one, is like opening a window to let fresh air in. You can rest here, feeling the rhythm of your breath, the quiet power in giving yourself this space. You're already finding your way, one gentle pause at a time, and we'll keep moving forward together, knowing you've got this strength within you. You're resting in this gentle space where the idea of a pause feels like a soft gift you can give yourself, a moment to step out of the storm and catch your breath. You've been carrying those waves of overwhelm, those small anxieties that pile up, and you're learning to find steady ground within. Now, let's turn toward those waves with a new perspective, as if you're standing on that beach we imagined, watching the water not with fear, but with curiosity. What if you could reframe the overwhelm, see it not as a towering force, but as something you can move through with kindness? Let's ease into this, exploring how to shift the way you view those big feelings. Picture yourself sitting on that sandy shore, the waves rolling in, some high, some low. Your heart might still flutter when a big one crashes, but you're starting to notice it doesn't have to pull you under. Instead of seeing the wave as something to fight, you imagine it as a flow of energy, a natural part of the ocean that is you. That overwhelm, the racing thoughts, the tightness in your chest, it's not a sign you're failing. It's just a signal that you're feeling something deeply, that you care about your world. You notice how this shift in perspective makes the wave feel a little less daunting, like a storm cloud that's still beautiful in its own way. Here's a core insight. Reframing is a psychological tool that lets you change the story you tell yourself about your emotions. It's part of cognitive behavioral therapy, where you learn to challenge unhelpful thoughts and see them from a new angle. Instead of thinking, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't handle this, you might try, this feels big right now, but it's just a wave, and I've ridden waves before. This doesn't erase the feeling, but it softens its grip, giving you room to breathe and respond with clarity. It's like adjusting the lens on the camera. What seemed blurry and huge comes into focus as something you can manage. Try this gentle prompt. Think of a moment today when you felt overwhelmed, maybe by a task or a worry. In your mind, describe it as if it's a wave in the ocean. What size is it? What color? How does it move? Now imagine stepping back and saying to it, you're big, but you're just a wave and I'm the ocean. Notice how it feels to see it this way. Maybe your breath slows or your hands relax. You're not trying to make the wave disappear, just giving yourself a new way to see it, a way that feels kinder. It's so normal to feel like overwhelm is a wall you can't climb, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find that our emotions can seem like they're in charge, especially when life feels full. There's no need to judge yourself for it. It's a sign you're human, with a heart that feels deeply. You're doing something brave just by being here, by exploring this new perspective with me, by letting yourself consider the waves differently. As you settle deeper, you might feel a quiet warmth, like the sun breaking through clouds. Remember that pause we practiced, that moment of rest? It's part of this reframing, helping you step back from the storm to see it anew. You've already shown you can anchor yourself, listen to your emotions, and soften that inner critic. Think of a time when you saw something differently. Maybe a problem that felt huge but turned out okay, or a fear that lost its power when you faced it. That clarity is in you, like a soft light you can always turn toward. You're learning to view overwhelm as a wave, not a wall. You don't need to stop it or fear it. You can watch it rise and fall, knowing you're bigger than any one moment. Rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength in your ability to shift your perspective. You're already finding your way, one new angle at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together, knowing you've got this resilience within you. You're here, resting in this gentle space where the waves of overwhelm feel a little less like walls and more like currents you can navigate. You've been learning to see them differently, to pause and find your anchor, and now you're ready to tune into something quieter, something steady, your body's own wisdom. You notice how your emotions ripple through you, not just in your mind, but in the way your shoulders tense, your breath catches, or your hands fidget. These sensations are like soft signals, guiding you toward calm if you listen closely. Let's ease into this, exploring how your body can be a compass for finding clarity in the storm. Imagine you're lying on a soft blanket, the room around you hushed, maybe with the faint hum of a fan in the background. You feel a flutter in your chest, or perhaps a warmth in your palms, as those familiar worries bubble up, a deadline, a conversation, a task left undone. Instead of chasing the thoughts, you turn your attention to your body. You notice the weight of your legs against the surface, the rhythm of your breath, the subtle rise and fall of your chest. It's like tuning into a quiet song your body's been singing all along, one that knows how to guide you back to calm. Here's a core insight. Your body holds a kind of wisdom that your mind sometimes overlooks, a concept tied to somatic awareness in psychology. When you're overwhelmed, your body sends signals, tightness, restlessness, or even a heavy feeling in your limbs that reflect your emotional state. By noticing these sensations without judgment, you can tap into a deeper sense of clarity. It's like your body is a map, and each sensation is a marker pointing you toward what you need, maybe rest, movement, or simply a moment to breathe. This awareness helps you ground yourself, bringing you back to the present where the storm feels less intense. Try this gentle prompt. Take a moment to scan your body from head to toe. Start with your forehead, any tension there. Move to your shoulders, your chest, your hands, noticing any sensations, warm or cool, tight or soft. Don't try to change them, just observe, like you're tracing the outline of a familiar landscape. What does your body feel like right now? Maybe your breath deepens or your jaw softens. This is your body's wisdom speaking, offering you a way to anchor in the moment no matter how big the waves feel. It's so normal to get caught up in your thoughts and miss these physical cues, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find that our minds race ahead, leaving our bodies behind, but there's no shame in it. It's just a habit you can gently shift. You're doing something kind just by being here, by listening to your body with curiosity. by giving yourself the space to reconnect. As you settle into this awareness, you might feel a quiet warmth, like the glow of a lantern in a foggy night. Remember that reframing we explored? Seeing overwhelm as a wave instead of a wall? Your body signals are part of that shift, helping you feel the wave's rhythm rather than its weight. You've already shown you can pause, anchor yourself, and listen to your emotions as messengers. Think of a time when your body guided you. Maybe a deep breath that calmed you before a tough moment, or a stretch that eased a tense day. That wisdom is in you, like a steady pulse you can always find. You're learning to trust your body's quiet voice, to let it guide you through the storm. You don't need to force calm or ignore the waves. Just notice what your body's telling you, like a friend whispering, "You're okay." Rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the soft weight of your body against the surface. You're already finding your way one sensation at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together, knowing you've got this inner compass to guide you. You're here, resting in this soft space, tuning into the quiet wisdom of your body, feeling its signals like a gentle guide through the storm. You've been learning to see overwhelm differently, to find your anchor, to pause and listen to the messages in your emotion sensations. But sometimes those waves still feel heavy, don't they? Like they demand you control them, fix them, or hold them all at once. What if you could let go, just a little, with kindness, not by ignoring the waves, but by loosening your grip, letting them flow without needing to steer every one? Let's ease into this, exploring how to release that need for control with a gentle, compassionate touch. Picture yourself standing by that familiar ocean, the waves rolling in, some gentle, some crashing. You're holding a handful of small stones, those worries, those moments of overwhelm we've been carrying. Your instinct is to clutch them tightly, to keep them in place, as if letting go means losing something important. But your hands are tired, your shoulders tense from the effort. You notice how it feels to open your fingers, just a bit, letting one stone slip into the water. It doesn't mean the worry disappears, it just means you're giving yourself permission to rest, to let the wave carry it for a while. Here's a core insight. Letting go is a psychological practice rooted in acceptance, often tied to mindfulness and emotional regulation. When you try to control every feeling or solve every worry, your mind and body stay in a state of tension, like a clenched fist. But when you practice acceptance, acknowledging your emotions without needing to change them, you create space for calm. This doesn't mean giving up. It's about trusting that you can handle what comes without holding every piece tightly. It's like letting the ocean carry a message in a bottle, knowing it'll find its way without you forcing it. Try this gentle prompt. Think of one worry you've been holding on to tightly, maybe a task, a fear, or a what if. In your mind, imagine placing it in a small boat and letting it drift out to sea. You're not abandoning it, you're just letting it float for now. What does it feel like to loosen your grip, even just a little? Maybe your chest feels lighter, or your breath flows easier. This is a small act of kindness to yourself, a way to practice letting go without needing to have all the answers. It's so human to want to control the storm, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find ourselves gripping tightly to our worries, thinking it'll keep us safe. There's no shame in it, it's just your mind trying to protect you. You're doing something brave just by being here, by considering what it means to let go with kindness, by giving yourself this moment to explore. As you settle deeper, you might feel a soft warmth, like the glow of a firefly in the dusk. Remember that body wisdom we tuned into, those signals guiding you to calm. Letting go builds on that, helping you trust that you don't need to hold every wave. You've already shown you can reframe overwhelm, pause, and anchor yourself. Think of a time when you let something go, maybe a grudge, a plan that didn't work out, or a worry you set aside. That freedom is in you, like a breeze you can always feel when you open your hands. You're learning that you don't need to control every feeling or solve every moment. You can let the waves come and go, knowing you're still steady, still whole. Rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength in your ability to release. You're already finding your way one open hand at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together, knowing you've got this resilience within you. You're resting in this gentle space where letting go feels like a soft exhale, a moment of release that lightens the weight of those waves. You've been learning to loosen your grip on overwhelm, to trust your body's wisdom, to find an anchor in the storm. But even as you practice these things, there's a quiet strength in simply being with your emotions, and letting them be without judgment. What of vulnerability, those moments when you feel raw or unsteady, isn't a weakness but a source of courage. Let's ease into this, exploring how embracing your emotions with openness can be a powerful way to navigate the storm. Imagine you're sitting in a quiet meadow, the grass soft beneath you, the sky above a mix of clouds and light. Your emotions are there, swirling like a breeze, some gentle, some gusty. You feel a pang of anxiety, maybe about something you said or a choice you're facing, and your instinct is to push it away, to hide it behind a smile. But what if you let it sit with you, like a guest in this meadow? You notice how it feels to acknowledge it, to say, I see you, and it's okay. Your chest might soften, your breath deepen, as if the act of allowing makes the air around you lighter. Here's a core insight. Vulnerability is a strength, rooted in the psychological concept of emotional acceptance. When you allow yourself to feel without judgment, you build resilience because you're no longer fighting your own heart. This doesn't mean wallowing in distress. It means giving your emotions space to exist, like clouds passing through the sky. Research on emotional intelligence shows that people who accept their feelings rather than suppressing them tend to feel less overwhelmed over time. It's like opening a window in a stuffy room. The air moves and you can breathe easier. Try this gentle prompt. Think of a moment when you felt vulnerable. Maybe a time you were nervous, sad, or unsure. In your mind, picture sitting with that feeling as if it's a friend who's come to visit. What would you say to it? Maybe, I'm here with you, or you don't have to be perfect. Notice how it feels to let that emotion be without trying to fix it. Maybe your shoulders relax or your heart feels a little lighter. This is a quiet act of courage, a way to honor yourself by being present with what's real. It's so human to shy away from vulnerability, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find it hard to sit with big emotions, worried they make us weak or exposed. But there's no shame in feeling deeply. It's a sign of a heart that's alive and engaged. You're doing something powerful just by being here, by exploring this openness with me, by letting yourself feel without fear. As you settle deeper, you might sense a soft warmth, like sunlight filtering through the trees. Remember that release we practiced, letting go of the need to control? Vulnerability builds on that, inviting you to trust yourself enough to feel without judgment. You've already shown you can anchor yourself, reframe overwhelm, and listen to your body's wisdom. Think of a time when you were honest about how you felt, maybe with a friend or even just to yourself. That honesty is in you, like a quiet strength that grows each time you lean into it. You're learning that vulnerability isn't about falling apart. It's about standing in your truth, even when it's messy. You don't need to hide your emotions or make them smaller. Rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet power in your ability to be open. You're already finding your way one honest moment at a time, and we'll keep exploring this together, knowing you've got this courage within you. You're here, resting in this gentle meadow of your mind, where vulnerability feels like a quiet strength, a way to sit with your emotions without fear. You've been learning to embrace those ways, to let go of control, to trust the wisdom in your body and the courage in your openness. Now, let's gather these threads into something you can carry forward, a toolkit of simple practices to navigate those moments when the storm feels too big. You don't need to master everything at once. You're building a collection of soft tools, like stones smoothed by the river, to help you find calm whenever you need it. Let's ease into this, exploring how to create your own calm toolkit with kindness and care. Picture yourself sitting by that familiar ocean, the waves rolling in, the sand warm beneath you. In your hands, you hold a small woven basket, a place to keep the practices that steady you. Each one is like a smooth stone, something you can pick up when overwhelm creeps in. You notice how it feels to hold this basket, to know you have tools within reach. Maybe it's the weight of it in your lap, or the way it reminds you that you're not facing the storm empty-handed. You're collecting ways to anchor yourself, to soften the intensity, to move through the waves with grace. Here's a core insight. A calm toolkit is built from small, intentional practices that ground you in the present, a concept rooted in psychological resilience. These aren't grand solutions, but gentle habits like breathing, pausing, or reframing that help you regulate your emotions over time. Studies on stress management show that consistent, small actions, like a 5-minute mindfulness exercise or a moment of self-compassion, can lower anxiety and build a sense of control. Your toolkit is personal, shaped by what feels right for you, whether it's a deep breath, a walk, or a quiet word to yourself like, I'm doing my best and that's enough. Try this gentle prompt. Think of one practice that's helped you feel calm recently. Maybe it's the breathing we practice, or the way you soften your inner critic. Imagine placing it in your basket as a smooth, cool stone. Now add one more, a simple act you could try tomorrow, like taking a 10-second pause to notice your surroundings, or writing down a worry to set it aside. Picture these tools in your basket ready for you. What does it feel like to know they're there? Maybe your chest feels lighter, or your hands relax. This is your toolkit, growing with each small step you take. It's so normal to feel like you need big fixes for big feelings, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find ourselves searching for the perfect solution, but there's no shame in starting small. It's a sign of wisdom to build your toolkit one piece at a time. You're doing something kind just by being here, by exploring these practices with me, by giving yourself permission to create this space. As you settle deeper, you might feel a quiet warmth, like the glow of a lantern you can carry with you. Remember that vulnerability we embrace, that courage to feel without judgment. It's part of your toolkit, alongside your pauses, your reframing, your body's wisdom. You've already shown you can anchor yourself, let go, and see overwhelm as a wave. Think of a time when a small act made a difference. Maybe a deep breath before a tough call, or a moment of kindness to yourself. That power is in you, like a basket you can always reach for. You're building something beautiful, a collection of tools to carry you through the storm. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just know that each practice, each moment of care adds to your strength. Rest here, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet confidence in your growing toolkit. You're already finding your way one tool at a time, and we'll keep moving forward together, knowing you've got this resilience within you. You're here resting in this gentle space, your calm toolkit taking shape like a basket of smooth stones, each one a practice to steady you through the storm. You woven together so much, pausing, reframing, listening to your body, embracing vulnerability, and now you're ready to settle into the present, to let this moment be a soft landing place. The waves of overwhelm, those racing thoughts and heavy feelings are still there, but you're learning to rest alongside them, to find peace in the now. Let's ease into this, sinking deeper into the present moment, where calm feels like a warm blanket and your breath is a gentle guide to rest. Imagine you're lying in a quiet room, the world outside hushed, the only sound the soft hum of your breath or a distant fan. The worries that felt so big, a task undone, a conversation that lingered start to fade, like stars softening in the dawn. You notice the weight of your body against the surface, the coolness of the air on your skin, the steady rhythm of your inhale and exhale. This is the present, a place where you don't need to fix or chase anything. You're just here, resting, letting the moment hold you like a gentle cradle. Here's a core insight. Resting in the present is a mindfulness practice that anchors you in the now, reducing the pull of past regrets or future worries. When you focus on this moment, your breath, the feel of your hands, the quiet around you, your brain shifts away from the stress response, calming the nervous system. This isn't about escaping your emotions. It's about giving yourself a space where they don't need to be solved. The present is like a still lake, reflecting only what's here, not the storms that have passed or might come. Try this gentle prompt. Let your attention settle on your breath for a moment. Notice the air moving in, cool and light, and out, warm and slow. Let your mind rest there like a leaf floating on water. If a thought drifts in, just notice it and come back to your breath. What does it feel like to be right here, not reaching forward or back? Maybe your chest softens or your thoughts feel quieter. This is your present moment, a gift you can always return to, a place to rest when the world feels loud. It's so human to get pulled away from the now, and you're not alone in this. Many of us find our minds wandering to what's next or what went wrong, but there's no shame in it. It's just a habit you can gently shift. You're doing something kind just by being here, by letting yourself rest in this moment with me, by giving yourself this space to breathe. As you settle deeper, you feel quiet warmth, like the glow of a candle in a darkened room. Remember that toolkit you're building, those practices like pausing and reframing? They all lead you to this moment of rest. You've shown you can anchor yourself, let go, and see your emotions with kindness. Think of a time when you felt truly present, maybe watching the sunset or feeling the warmth of a loved one's hand. That peace is in you, like a soft hum you could always find. Wind down, and now, as you rest here, let the rhythm of your breath slow. Each inhale a little softer, Each exhale a little longer. The waves of overwhelm, those pebbles of worry, they're drifting further away, like leaves on a quiet stream. You don't need to carry them now. Picture yourself in that meadow we imagined, the grass soft, the sky a gentle twilight, stars just beginning to peek through. Your body feels heavy, grounded, as if the earth is holding you close. You've done so much tonight, listening to your emotions, softening your inner critic, finding your anchor. You're allowed to rest, to let the world fade into a whisper. Feel the warmth in your chest, the quiet strength in simply being here. You're not alone in your storms, and you're stronger than you know. Let each breath carry you deeper into calm, like a boat gliding on still water. You're safe here in this moment, in this gentle space. May you carry this peace with you. May your heart feel light, and may you drift into rest with ease. Sweet dreams.